Some names echo through history, others fade too soon. Today, we remember the voices, the visionaries, the storytellers, and the souls who shaped our world. From the man who made us fear the shadows with Courage the Cowardly Dog, to the voice that called for peace and get together, from an artist who turned fruit into poetry, to a nightlife icon who resurrected the past, each of them left something behind. This isn't much about death, it's about legacy, about the stories they told and the ones we now tell about them. Like and subscribe to Final Moments because every ending deserves to be remembered. Number 1. David Steven Cohen. David Steven Cohen's stories lingered in the minds of those who watched, shaping childhoods and sparking imaginations. His pen brought eerie yet heartful tales to life, blending humor, horror, and emotion in a way that few could replicate. And now, the animation world mourns his passing. Cohen, best known as the head writer of Courage the Cowardly Dog, has died at the age of 58 after a battle with cancer. Animation historian Jerry Beck confirmed the news, recalling Cohen as a brilliant storyteller, a loyal friend, and a true champion of the animated world. His words echoed across social media, where fans and colleagues poured out their tributes. "You did good, David. You won't be forgotten." Cohen's career spanned decades, shaping some of the most unique children's television. His work on Courage the Cowardly Dog turned a quirky pink dog's fearful adventures into a cult phenomenon. Episodes like Club Cats, 1000 Years of Courage, Forbidden Hat of Gold, and The Sand Wheel Strikes captured the essence of the show. Darkly comedic, unexpectedly moving, and often terrifying. He knew how to push boundaries, making kids question every shadow while teaching them that even the most fearful could be heroes. Beyond Courage, Cohen's fingerprints are all over children's television history. He co-wrote the animated film Balto and lent his talent to Pee-wee's Playhouse, Tiny Toon Adventures, Phil of the Future, and the Wumpulous World of Dr. Seuss. His writing earned him 2 Primetime Emmy nominations and a Writers Guild Award, a testament to his storytelling brilliance. Fans remember Courage as more than just a cartoon. David Steven Cohen's wild imagination gave us courage, one fan posted. Who else grew up questioning every shadow thanks to this show? His eerie yet whimsical narratives left an indelible mark, and his influence stretches far beyond the screen. Cohen may be gone, but his stories will keep haunting, inspiring, and comforting generations to come. Number 2. Jesse Colin Young. Jesse Colin Young, born Perry Miller in Queens, New York in 1941, was a voice that defined an era. His journey began in the Greenwich Village folk scene, where he traded his given name for one that evoked the spirit of outlaws and adventure, Jesse Colin Young. By the mid-1960s, he had formed the Youngbloods, a band that would become synonymous with the peace and love movement. Though he didn't write their signature hit Get Together, it was his voice that immortalized the song's call for unity. Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together, try to love one another right now. The song, originally penned by Dino Valenti, became a top 5 hit in 1969, a timeless anthem for a fractured world. Young's artistry extended far beyond that single. As the Youngbloods' primary songwriter, he crafted songs like Darkness, Darkness, a haunting reflection on the Vietnam War, and Sunlight, a radiant ode to love and nature. His music was a tapestry of folk, blues, jazz, and psychedelia woven together by a sensuous tenor and poetic lyricism. Love of the natural world is as much a theme in my music as romantic love, he once said, and his songs often mirrored the landscapes of Marin County, California, where he lived for decades. After the Youngbloods disbanded in 1972, Young embarked on a solo career that spanned over 5 decades. Albums like Song for Julie and Light Shine broke into the Billboard Top 40, showcasing his evolution as a musician. His later years were marked by resilience. After battling chronic Lyme disease, he returned to the stage in 2016, releasing his final album Dreamers in 2019. Jesse Colin Young passed away on March 16, 2025 at 83, leaving behind a legacy of music that urged listeners to find beauty in the world and in each other. As he once reflected, it's time to not just try to love one another because we know the difference between trying and doing, it's time to do. His songs remain a reminder of that enduring hope. Number 3, Ming Fay. A pear the size of a child, a tangle of vines reaching the ceiling, a wishbone large enough to walk under, Ming Fay's world was one where nature took center stage, scaled beyond recognition yet intimately familiar. His art was a bridge spanning the industrial cityscape and the organic forms that often go unnoticed. Born in Shanghai in 1943 and raised in Hong Kong, Fay was surrounded by art from the start. His father designed film sets, his mother painted, and together they introduced him to the intricacies of craft. But it was a year-long illness in childhood that turned his fascination inward as he absorbed everything from classical painting to comic books, shaping a visual language that would later bloom into something extraordinary. Fay's formal training began in Ohio, where he pursued design at Columbus College of Art and Design. Practicality had dictated that choice, but his heart led him elsewhere. He transferred to Kansas City Art Institute, immersing himself in sculpture before earning his MFA at UC Santa Barbara in 1970. New York became his canvas in the 1970s. Inspired by the Chinatown markets where exotic fruits and strange vegetables piled high, Fay abandoned metal for papier-mâché, spray foam, and wax. His first sculpture, a massive pear symbolizing prosperity in Chinese culture, crafted from layers of newsprint, including pages of the New York Times. This shift defined his signature style, oversized organic forms, hyper-realistic yet surreal, bringing the forgotten details of nature into sharp focus. Public art followed, most famously the Delancey Street mosaics, shimmering regal shadfish paying homage to the species that once thrived in the Hudson River. A subway ride turned into an encounter with history, a moment of reflection beneath the city's relentless pace. Fay was more than a sculptor. He was a storyteller and interpreter of nature in an urban world. His epoxy art group, formed in 1982 with fellow Chinese-American artists, tackled themes of identity and displacement. In New York, I felt the isolation and divide from nature, he once said. So he built his own, larger, stranger, and impossible to ignore. Number 4, Mark Grossich. New York has always been a city of reinvention, a place where history meets the present over a perfectly chilled Gibson. Mark Grossich understood this better than most. A former ad executive turned nightlife impresario, he didn't just open bars, he resurrected a lost era of opulence, crafting spaces that whispered of another time. Grossich's journey began not in the dim glow of a speakeasy, but in the sharp, calculated world of advertising. With a master's degree in marketing from Northwestern University, he carved a successful path at Saatchi & Saatchi. But the sterile world of corporate strategy couldn't contain his vision. By the early 90s, he pivoted into hospitality, co-founding the Bar and Books chain-smoking lounges that blended the indulgence of fine cigars with the sophistication of leather-bound libraries. His defining moment came in 1999. Hidden within Grand Central Terminal was a forgotten relic, the former office of financier John W. Campbell, a 13th century Florentine-inspired masterpiece left to decay. Where others saw a derelict space, Grossich saw potential. After a $1.5 million restoration, the Campbell apartment emerged, a cathedral of classic cocktails and quiet refinement. With bar and books, we were manufacturing history, he reflected. With the Campbell, we could leverage the real thing. As CEO of Hospitality Holdings, Grossich curated experiences, not just establishments. The World Bar and the Empire Room, each venue paid homage to the city's architectural and social history. These weren't just places to chase trends, they were crafted for longevity. As he once put it, we don't want to be the flavor of the month or the year. We want to be in it for the long run. But even visionaries face obstacles. The 2002 smoking ban threatened the very existence of his cigar lounges, yet Grossich, ever the strategist, secured a rare exemption for the Carnegie Club, ensuring its status as a haven for aficionados. His resilience was tested again in 2016 when he lost the lease to the Campbell apartment. A lawsuit followed, but the space had already been transformed. It would never be just another bar again. Mark Grossich didn't just create bars, he crafted timeless spaces where the clink of a glass echoed the past and every drink told a story. Number 5. Émilie Dequenne. At just 18 years old, Émilie Dequenne stood on the world's biggest cinematic stage, clutching the Cannes Best Actress Award. But the acclaimed Belgian actress, renowned for her role in Rosetta, passed away on March 16, 2025 at just the age of 43 after battling a rare adrenal gland cancer. Born in Belgium, Belgium, Dequenne wasn't raised in the industry, but was drawn to performance from an early age. She honed her craft at the Académie de Musique de Bordeaux, and in 1999, her life changed overnight. Her portrayal of Rosetta, a young woman clawing her way out of poverty, was so immersive that it led to labor reforms in Belgium. Few actors had such an impact on their first role. Dequenne's career spanned genres from historical epics to psychological thrillers. In Brotherhood of the Wolf, she became part of a cult classic, while The Girl on the Train saw her alongside Catherine Deneuve in a chilling true story. Our Children, perhaps her most devastating role, earned her another Cannes win, a performance so harrowing that she once admitted making a film like that is something you have to survive. It wasn't until 2021 that she took home a César for Best Supporting Actress in Love Affairs, a long overdue recognition, though her greatest reward, she often said, was the work itself. Even as illness shadowed her final years, Dequenne remained luminous. Diagnosed with adrenocortical carcinoma, she faced it with quiet resilience. "We will never talk about healing," she once said, "only about moving forward." Her final film, Survive, was a hauntingly fitting farewell. Her performances were never just performances, they were truth embodied. Émilie Dequenne may be gone, but she will never fade away. Number 6. John Paddy Hemingway. At just 20 years old, Paddy Hemingway climbed into the cockpit of his Hawker Hurricane, knowing that every mission could be his last. The Battle of Britain raged above the English Channel, and Hemingway, like so many of his comrades, was outnumbered, outgunned, and barely out of his teens. He would be shot down 4 times during the war, but somehow he always survived. The war found him early. He first saw combat during the Battle of Dunkirk, providing cover for the desperate evacuation below. On May 10, 1940, he scored his first aerial victory, downing a Heinkel He-111, but the next day, his own aircraft was crippled by enemy fire. Forced to land near Maastricht, he narrowly escaped capture, making his way back to England. Then came the Battle of Britain. Hemingway Squadron number 85 was on the front lines. August 18, 1940, his Hurricane was hit over the Thames estuary. He bailed out. August 26, shot down again over Eastchurch, making him his squadron's first official combat casualty over British soil. But he kept flying, kept fighting. Years later, the wreckage of one of his Hurricanes was recovered, its gun button still set to fire. Hemingway never saw himself as a hero. The main skill was luck, he once said. No matter how good you were, you had to be lucky. That luck followed him even when he was down in Italy, where a local girl helped him evade capture. Decades later, he met her daughter, closing a chapter of history only they shared. By the time of his passing on 17th March 2025, at the age of 105, he was the last of the few. A quiet man, a survivor, and a symbol of resilience. The RAF called it the end of an era, but as long as history remembers, the era never truly ends.